Welcome to yet another episode. In this episode, I want to talk to you about how can you stop TikTok addiction in your life? How can you stop TikTok addiction in your life? Of course, these days, both children and adults, almost everyone is using TikTok, When there's too much use or excessive use of, a social media platform like TikTok, the chances of getting addicted to it, it's really high. Before you realize you are so addicted to TikTok that you cannot prevent yourself from going to TikTok, and you are almost always there, spending almost all your day there, you know, isolating yourself from friends, and so on and so forth, feeling guilty when you don't go on TikTok, to go and check what videos people are posting and so on and so forth. So the idea that many people might be going through TikTok addiction without knowing is high. And in one of our videos, which I'll post on this channel, I talk about, some of the signs that you need to check out for to know that you are going through TikTok addiction and therefore seek more, a better diagnosis from a clinical psychologist to know whether you're addicted or not. So if you are addicted or if you think you are getting addicted to TikTok, how can you stop this TikTok addiction in your life? The first point when it comes to stopping TikTok addiction in your life is to stop the number of hours, the time that you spent on TikTok. So when you go there, you need to monitor your time. How much time are you spending? Before you realize you spend 1 hour on TikTok, you spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on TikTok. So you need to monitor yourself when you go to TikTok to know how much time am I spending. Maybe you can set a limit for yourself. Okay, when I spend 10 minutes, I'll leave TikTok, and go and do my other activities in my life. If you don't set this time limit, you end up, getting addicted to TikTok, and it's going to disrupt your life because it has so many effects when you get addicted to TikTok. Another thing you can do is to make sure that you don't use your smartphone excessively, because the more you use your smartphone, there's a higher chance that you may get addicted to your smartphone. And there are a lot of studies showing that when you become addicted to your smartphone, given that most of us have the TikTok app on our phones, the chances that you go and use TikTok is high. So one way to stop TikTok addiction is to make sure that, you don't use your phone excessively and get addicted to it. Another thing you can do to stop TikTok addiction in your life is to also make sure that you don't browse the internet too much. When you get addicted to browsing on the internet, there's studies showing that the more time you spend browsing on the internet, your chances of going to any social media platform like TikTok is high. So one way to prevent yourself from going onto TikTok and getting addicted to it is to reduce the time you spend on the internet, browsing the internet. What you can do is also to maybe put a limit on the days, the number of days that you spend on TikTok. Maybe out of a week, you can say that, okay, I'll do like just 2 days in a week going to TikTok. Restricting the days that you go there can also help you, to stop getting addicted. You see, addiction is behavior. And the more you cut, the idea of you repeatedly doing that behavior, the higher a chance. So cutting the number of days you go on the TikTok platform can definitely help you to overcome your TikTok addiction. Sometimes too, you need to see a clinical psychologist to help you deal with depression and any mental health challenges you might be going through. Many people might be going through so many mental health issues in life, like the depression, the anxiety, the stress, emotional problems, and then they just want to be happy, so they go to TikTok in the aim of trying to be happy before they realize it becomes detrimental and they are so addicted. So if you are going through some mental health challenges for which you go to TikTok, then it's better for you to see a mental health professional like a clinical psychologist to help you deal with the mental health issues, and therefore you have not a higher need of going to TikTok all the time to find happiness in your life. Another thing you can do to deal with TikTok addiction is also to make sure that you replace the time and the days you spend on TikTok with other useful activities in your life, going to church, studying, working. All these things can help you to replace the time that you spend on TikTok. So instead of using that time on TikTok, you would rather use it to go to church, you'd rather use it to study, you'd rather use it to have some family time, you'd rather use it, Of course, when you want to stop TikTok addiction, you might need social support, you might need friends around you to support you, to encourage you, to remind you when you are spending so much time on TikTok, so that you know that, hey, you are spending so much time, you have to leave the platform. So social support would definitely be, a good addition to your plan of getting, out of TikTok addiction. So many things that you can do to overcome TikTok addiction for sure. Also, if you want to overcome TikTok addiction, make sure that you are not spending a lot of time in loneliness, social isolation. The more you isolate yourself, you're in the room alone, the more isolated you feel, the more lonelier you feel, the more likely you are to go and use TikTok. So deal with social isolation. Of course, mental health professionals like clinical psychologists can help you, and that will be a sure way to help you to overcome your TikTok addiction, because the more socially active you are, the less time you would have to spend on the TikTok app, and the less your chance of getting addicted to TikTok. So these are some of the tips that I can give you for TikTok addiction. Subscribe to this channel, share this video to help someone. I'll see you in the next episode.